Let's talk about amount of meat you should be eating daily on the paleo-ketogenic diet. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I am Sylvia. I'm a carnivore diet coach and a big city mom. My first experience with all-meat diet started at Paleo Medicina, a clinic in Hungary that developed paleo-ketogenic diet. And on this diet, you eat red meat, fat, salt, and water, and organ meats. And I used this diet to reverse rheumatoid arthritis. And then shortly after, and we're talking a few years back now, the carnivore diet became a thing, and many people started reversing chronic diseases with all-meat diet. And so then I became a certified carnivore diet coach, and my certification was at Rivero. And so I will link both Paleo Medicina and Rivero in the description box if you want to check them out. But if you are looking for medical attention and a diet that is designed just for you, and you have chronic disease, the source to go to is Paleo Medicina. And I will share with you what my diet was when I got it from Paleo Medicina and what I see now with the clients I have that also were or have been clients of Paleo Medicina. When I first got my paleo-ketogenic diet, I was supposed to eat about 450 grams of red meat a day, which is roughly 16 ounces, and then double the amount of fat to proteins by dry matter. So roughly I was eating 80% of calories from fat and the rest from proteins. And then I was supposed to eat about 200 grams of organ meats, and in my case was liver, which is about 7 ounces of organ meats a week. And that was my plan. The spices were salt, and that's it. The diet worked for me really quickly. So just within a few weeks, I was 100% symptoms free. And better yet, I was able to introduce other foods to my diet. They were all carnivore, but I was able to add more variety to what I was eating. So I was able to eat eggs, I was able to eat butter. And what I did, I continued maintaining fat to protein ratio to be 2:1 so that I stayed in ketosis over 2. Recently, though, it seems that the protocol of Paleo Medicina has changed slightly. And the clients that used to be patients of Paleo Medicina tell me that they're being advised to eat 350 grams of red meat a day, which is 12 ounces, and then 400 grams of organ meats a week, which is 14 ounces, and then 200 grams of bone marrow, which is about 7 ounces of bone marrow a week. And then, of course, fat and salt and water. So I will demonstrate how I portion my meat for the day. And let me start with these 2 beautiful ranch steaks. So each of them are 8 ounces. So this becomes my lunch, and this is my dinner. I do it in the air fryer, Ninja Foodie. And then I just add all the extra fat and salt, and that's it. I'm done for the day. Okay, so let's talk about ribeyes, because they are awesome as well. So I have here 10-ounce ribeye, so I will eat for dinner 8 ounces of it. And the evenings that I eat ribeyes, I will make 8 ounces of ground beef for lunch. I usually add a lot of tallow to it. Same thing here, I add extra fat, and that makes a second day of eating of meat. These are steak tips, and here again, I have 16 ounces of it, so this will make 2 meals for me. When I make steak tips, I will usually add some organ meats to it as well, and I'm pretty much done for another day of eating PKD as well. Of course, I'm adding all the extra fat. And this is 16 ounces of liver. The way I prepare it, just because I'm a working mom and for efficiency purposes, I will cook it into a pate over the weekend, put it in a jar, store it in the fridge, and I will eat it by teaspoons throughout the week or add it to my meat. And that's how I get my organ meats regularly into my eating regimen. And last but not least, this is a bone marrow bone, and it's about 2 pounds of bone in here. Nice marrow in here. I'm not a big fan of baking of the marrow. What I'll do, I will cook it into the stews and then scoop up the bone marrow and mix it into my pate, and that's how I eat it. Now, I know some of you are thinking, is this enough calories per day? Now, here's the trick. If you stick with the fat to protein ratio to be 2:1, you will feel really satiated. In fact, it will be really hard to eat more meat than this. A lot of people will eat 350 grams of meat a day with all the extra fat, and they're totally happy with what they eat per day. Sometimes in the second half of my cycle, I feel more hungry and want to eat breakfast, then I will eat typically 2 eggs, usually hard-boiled eggs or scrambled eggs, with some bacon, and then I eat a little bit less meat. And that's it. It's really easy, actually, even if you're a working mom. Personally, I did PKD to reverse rheumatoid arthritis, and then again, I did a very strict PKD when I ended breastfeeding with my second son. So I'm on PKD since about mid-September to reboot and reset my hormones and just to get back into my pre-pregnancy weight. Actually, I exceeded all my goals. I'm currently 133 pounds. So last time I was this weight, I was about 30 years old. So I'm super excited. But my goal was to stay on strict PKD till December 24th. And then we will see. We'll see what happens during the New Year resolutions. When I coach my clients, I use paleo-ketogenic diet as one of the tools in my toolbox. I've come across many people that have histamine intolerance, and then so we have to adjust the amount of meat they're eating, and for a period of time they're unable to eat organ meats, or they can't eat that much fat because it gives them diarrhea and then just cannot function. So we have to adjust the diet to the individual needs of every person that I work with. But at some point, just about everybody will be able to go into strict PKD. Also worth noting that clients that are also very physically active, they do sports or they go to the gym, weightlifting, so they need to eat more protein. So those restrictive amounts of meat are not ideal if you want to pursue PKD and work out. So then we have to modify the diet as well. Or in some cases, not as frequent, but it does happen, if there is so little meat, proteins in the diet, even though there's a lot of fat, there are some changes to women's menstrual cycle. So we have to work with that as well. All right, so this will do it for this week's video. If you really spend a little bit of time, strategize how to break down the amount of meat that you need to eat for the day, it gets really easy. It gets really easy to do meal planning, even if you have to take your lunch to work, which is what I do. PKD is easy to stick with. Of course, don't forget about all the extra fat. Check out my other video about amount of fats that you're supposed to add to your paleo-ketogenic diet. And if you like me to design a meal plan for you that is carnivore diet, carnivore-ish, you would like to reverse chronic disease with dietary intervention, the link to my coaching site are in the description box, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.